Butterfingers. Okay, so this is the stamped steel heavy metal Jeep Gladiator 1/18th scale. Now, the body is not 1/18th scale, it's smaller than that, but the chassis is. The body's closer to 1/24th scale, maybe even a little bigger. It's definitely longer than what you'd think of as 1/24th scale. So it was advertised in the store as 1/20th scale. It has this flip down windshield. Um, it is metal. It's very nice looking, very beautiful. It would be great for some other kind of project where the chassis would look like it's in scale to the rest of it. The metal pieces are, I don't know if you can see them or not, but there are tiny screws holding the metal pieces in place. And the reason I'm showing this is because this is kind of like a review of the vehicle itself. I took it outside. I figured it was dry enough. I did get a little bit of mud on the tires, but I figured it was dry enough to take it outside. And if you've seen the last video where I said that it was a review and suggested use, um, in that one I didn't think much of it, and I bought it with the intentions of taking the body off of it anyway and using something else in place of it, and ended up putting this Coca-Cola bottle on it and stuffing it full of gray grocery bags, which I didn't think at the time. Maybe it was subconscious, but it actually matches the wheels because they're gray with red trim. But anyway, um, I took it out for a little drive in the front yard, and I was very surprised and very impressed. It drives differently on the ground than it does on this low pile carpet in here. Um, it powers over things with ease. It'll even go over tree roots that are about that high, anywhere from that high to that high, with little trouble. And it was just, I had a lot of fun with it until the battery started to run down, and that's when the steering got weaker. And it still has the defect of where when you put it in reverse, it wants to turn to the right and steer itself to the right going in reverse. And as the battery got weaker, I had more trouble driving it, but I was able to drive it as far away as 35 to 40 feet and still have control over it. And it only got hung up one time. And I gotta say, except for the steering problem, which, if you've seen the last video, you know that I was talking about the front part of it being pitched forward to where when you tried to steer, that the wheels would more lean rather than actually steer. So I took an electronics tie that's kind of like a bread tie or a garbage tie, and looped it around the steering trim adjuster here, and then anchored the other end of it to this piece here above this shoulder piece of the shock tower, and that caused it to be more level so that when you steer it, it'll actually steer and the wheels won't be like they're leaning and trying to steer at the same time. So it did a whole lot better this time than it did the other couple of times I tried it here in the living room. I mean, at the living room here in the house. And I mean, if you want to keep the Jeep body on it, that's fine. That's your prerogative. Um, I actually thought it looked pretty cool driving it around with a Coke body on it outside. It was just so unique and so interesting. But yeah, it's got little crawler tires on it and everything, and uh, for toy grade, they're somewhat reasonably uh, mashable, and it does have spring suspension. The reason I did this thing with the Coke bottle is that took the Jeep body off. Part of that is because the front bumper was touching this and making it so that the front shocks would not work fully. And I wanted the front end to work as well, or close to as well as the rear end. So I was going to put this truck body on it, maybe, which is larger scale and looks more like it is in scale to the chassis. But no, that's for another project. So I just decided to put this Coca-Cola bottle on it instead, and it turned out looking a whole lot cooler than I expected. So yeah, my suggested use for it now is that uh, that just go ahead and buy it and drive it the way it is, uh, unless you want to have a slightly larger scale body on it to make it look more like 1/18th scale, so that it'll be in line with the chassis. But as for the Jeep body, and it makes the thing look like a toy because of how small the Jeep body is compared to the chassis. So yeah, my recommendation for this body would be to use it on something else. And it's a very nice body, very detailed, and even has a tiny little license plate on the back that says New Bright. So whoever put the stickers on it just slapped them on. You see the crooked where it says Jeep, it's on there diagonally, and some of the other stickers on it doesn't look like they really tried to put them on correctly, like somebody was in a hurry. So other than that, it looks really good. I like it, but I don't know what I would use this on for me personally. That's why I gave it to my brother. But yeah, other than the steering problem, maybe all it needs is to be the steering needs to be tweaked a little bit. Like I said in the last video, it could be that one is just defective, but for $16, $17, I think it's worth it to pick one up and try it out. And look at it this way: if it turns out that it's real has bad defects, and you feel like you can't repair it, you can't fix it on your own, then take it back and get a refund. Just hang on to your receipt. But I'm going to recommend this. Uh, yeah, I've changed my mind about the way I feel about it. It's a good product. Is it the best product for toy grade? No. but it's decent. It's decent enough, I think. So I think I'll just go ahead and give it a rating on a scale of 1 to 10 within toy grade RC, not overall RC, but toy grade RC. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 6. Yeah. So that is my review for the new bright heavy metal stamped steel bodied Jeep Gladiator 1/18th scale toy grade RC. And with that, I'll say thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and have a good day. And God bless. And Jesus loves you. And so do I.